I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing while we mention those who have passed since our last meeting. Everett H. Oakes. Nicholas Shane Faust. To start the meeting, roll call vote, not roll call vote, but roll call. Mike Michelle.
Here.
Joe.
Present. Here. Present.
You're present, he's here. I'm here.
Roll call vote, so, I said aye.
That was okay. But yes, so we have a full board tonight and, I think we have somewhat of an exciting meeting tonight. Beyond the agenda, we're going to start with recognizing gentleman from the community, Kenneth Stanley Baxter. And so we'll go up to the podium and make a presentation. And Mr. Raleigh, do you have your camera? Because if you don't have a phone, camera, or whatever, we can provide one.
Can I take also?
Sure.
Move that.
You guys want to come down?
Sure. Can you try the podium down?
Jim.
I got it.
All right. I'll do this.
You want that one?
And we'll get all the board members here. Let's see if we can put on that.
Yes.
You're part of it.
That's my check.
Okay. I like the hat though.
Yeah.
Town of Warsing, a proclamation honoring and celebrating the 102nd birthday of Kenneth Stanley Baxter. Whereas Kenneth Stanley Baxter was born in Ellenville, New York on May 18th, 1922, where he lived with his parents, Clara and Andrew Baxter, as well as his three brothers, Andrew, Irving, Joe, and sister Greta. Whereas he enlisted in the Army Air Force out of high school on January 12, 1943, and served in World War II until December 20th, 1945, as a T sergeant. All four of his brothers were in World War II, and at the same time in four different branches that all made it home safely. Whereas upon his return, he received his GED and worked for the Ma Bell for 30 years. Married Julia Vaughn in 1952 and built a house in Craigsmore, where he and Julia raised their 6 children. Ronnie, Brenda, Kenneth, Peter, Annie, and Tommy, and where he still resides today. Whereas Kenneth is fondly known as Poppy by his community. He is one of a kind, and they definitely don't make them like him anymore. Therefore, be it resolved that May 18th, 2024 has been declared as Kenneth Baxter Day in honor of his 102nd birthday and your service to our country. Town board. All 5 town board members. So at this time, congratulations on your birthday. for your service to this country.
Thank you.
Thank
You guys have any comments you want to bring out here? We can have a conversation up here.
I got this to present. I'm gonna hang it up tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
thank
Almost lunchtime, man.
That looks like you. Hey, good luck.
What happened, Bob?
You gotta get you in the gym.
Be hung up tomorrow in the morning.
Can
you show them?
Show the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very nice.
If you didn't hear Jimmy, it's gonna be it's gonna be hung right downstairs in the front of the town hall.
Right by Jackie's office.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Jimmy and Cassie are part of the Veterans Banners Project. There's a number of other people, Judge Deshawn, who else is on that?
Charlie Dijon.
Hank Rotosic and Donald.
Okay, so they should all be commended. Recognizing those who have served their country. And Jimmy was in the Navy.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons he's working for the Water and Sewer Department as a. I got right. He knows what he's doing with water and sewer.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you, guys.
Take that away. Won't get you a box there.
You left her?
Yep.
Good. All right, guys, back to work.
Can I have one more with you, Bob? And I have. Come on, take another picture. Yeah.
That's the latest. Huh? The latest.
Mine is coming. Who's this reading?
What's your boiler?
The final.
Yeah, yeah, what am I?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
you.
See
you later.
Happy birthday.
Don't eat too much cake, okay?
Happy birthday.
So, didn't mention in the beginning, if there's a problem in the building, this is the fire escape right here. Don't go out those doors, that's gonna be unsafe, this is the safest way. And, attorney concerns
None we haven't already discussed.
and petitioners, if, any petitioners that are on, Zoom or,
We gotta do the public hearing.
oh, yeah. Okay, we'll do the public hearing and then we'll go back to the.
All right.
All right, so, purpose of the public hearing is to receive input and comments from the public regarding the short-term rental law. We've had a number of meetings on this. We met today, Moving on to myself with the planning board attorney, and we're getting someplace with the law, and, we'll be hopefully instituting it in June, hopefully.
Well, I think in June we'll have a new draft with the proposed changes,
Right,
which at that time we'll send it to the county planning board and to our planning board for their comments.
right.
And we should continue this public hearing for maybe 2 meetings from now. So at that point, we'll have the new draft, we can hand out to the public. And then I would think maybe in July or.
Right, what I
July,
have
we'll
to
be
say
ready
is that what I was gonna say was, it'll be ready to go to the county for the county's, review, and also, at the same time, the town planning board looks at it also. And,
And for anyone interested in a copy of the draft, you can see the town clerk to obtain a copy. Is that right? Or you?
Right.
Well, once it's done, you can.
that's what the meeting was about today. We got someplace, we got a lot accomplished today, and so she'll be drafting up a rough draft of that, and then when it's ready, we'll be presenting it at one of the future meetings, and we'll distribute it to the planning board and to the county planning board, and then have obviously time for the public to chime in also, just like they have since we started this process. So, all right, and
Anyone have anything that they'd like to say about the short-term rental?
I'll make a motion
Be
to,
on the Zoom?
no. Oh, we do have people on Zoom, but no one that has,
no one has requested, no.
I'll make a motion to,
Continue.
continue the public hearing until, what did we say, June 20th?
Yeah.
Two meetings after that.
Sorry, June 20th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
7:05.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous.
And we have another public hearing.
Continue, it is, for some time. Continuation, hearing, for the purpose of the public hearing is to receive input and comments from the public regarding the proposed formation of a special district extension to be known as Fort Bend Extension of the town of Washington. Tonight, we have in the meeting, Mr. Bill over here, from the DEP, and, some people from the community. So this is the time to discuss comments regarding any concerns for that water district.
Yeah, you can note that Pierre Brissette from Labella is on Zoom, but he's muted.
All right, Johnny, we have to unmute,
Yep, well, he's unmuted now.
Yes, I'm on the call.
Yes,
Yeah.
so.
I want,
Well, hold on, Arnold, for a second. So we have Arnold, Restivo, which is, somebody that's concerned from the community from Port Bend, which is good. And then I want to make sure that Pierre is on. Pierre, you're on?
Yes, I am.
And is anybody else with you?
No, just me from Labella tonight.
All right, Arnold, please, share your concerns now.
the quality, the voice quality is so poor. That's why I'm trying to listen carefully. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you. perfectly.
Yes. So I want to express my severe support for this water district, because as I've mentioned in the past before, I know 3 of my neighbors who actually have a hand dug and a cesspool within 20 feet of each other. And this could be a big benefit for the entire community. Not just a temporary solution, but a more permanent solution, because some of the plots in Port Bend are very small, and there's not a satisfactory distance like FHA wants at 100 feet between the well and septic, and you don't find that there. So this is a real big benefit and boost to the community. And so I'm in full support of it.
Thank you, Arnold.
Thank you.
Anybody else in this?
Anybody in the audience would like to speak?
Rich Stewart. I still have a question.
Want to come up, Rich?
Stated this a few times to some of the board members in the past. Why were we eliminated from the original draft? Because we were in it.
Well, maybe Mr. Richardson can answer that question, because he's the DEP.
So, the original district did include that, and it was proposed
You're talking about Fort Bend, right?
Port Bend.
for Bend. So from my recollection, it was, a joint decision between town board and the funding available at the time for DEP. And the consideration of the distance and the Rondout Creek separation that there was not believed to be as direct of a correct connection with the Delaware Aqueduct as was seen in the 2023 drawdown exercises that DEP did to work to prepare for the shutdown. So those drawdown exercises revealed a number of deficiencies with our preparations and our plans. One of them was the degree of influence that was seen in Port Bend. A second was a degree of influence in another area near the Delaware Aqueduct, and a third was in our pumping capacity to be able to remove and actually complete the work as scheduled. And so once we realized that deficiency, we quickly mobilized efforts, contacted the towns that were affected, and made provisions to provide revised funding and revised projects to mitigate all those concerns.
So is this the US, what's it, USGS or you?
So it was we have a private consultant known as, it's a joint venture called EIScom, and they have taken on additional work in direct studies right near the tunnel alignment. And so it was those wells and those monitoring. Some of they do have like parallel monitoring in some of the wells that the USGS have been monitoring, but they're the group from Labella Engineering that's been out doing work for well monitoring and collecting data in and around Fort Bend, specifically we did a shutdown in March of 2023 and then again in October. And in March, we only brought the tunnel is roughly 400 feet below ground in Wawarsing. And so it is pressurized to the height of the Rondout Reservoir, which is up 55 at about 850 feet above sea level. And so that pressure is reduced when we turn off the tunnel, and then we actually have to drain it. So it drains until the pressure equalizes to the Rondout Reservoir and then West Branch Reservoir east of Hudson. And then we have to actively pump it out. And so that active pumping period has only seen a number of periods since 1957 when we last fully evacuated the tunnel. And so we did those two in 2023. In March, we only brought the tunnel down to about negative 90 feet. That's 90 feet below sea level. And then in October, we did it to negative 250 feet. The tunnel by elevation standards is at negative 650 feet below sea level. So when we drain it to that level, the water that has been leaking out of the tunnel drains back into the tunnel. It's just like a giant drain, and then it runs downhill to the Hudson because it's downhill from here to the Hudson, and then we continue to pump it out.
And it still doesn't explain why there wasn't more studies back when we first started this. Because it was a bunch of us that was in knocking our firehouse and raised this question back then. And a couple of us had to go out because of what we weren't into it, bought new water systems. I still believe we have a right to go back after everyone, but unfortunately, we're sticking on that because it won't benefit anybody, and it's basically a lost cause. I understand that. But where did it save money? You're gonna pay more now than you would have back then.
We
But
didn't
now-
make up the information that he just told you. He gave us that information, and then we made a decision. Is that correct, Bill?
Yeah,
We didn't
And-
vote on where the district was gonna be. We were told by the engineering company and by DEP where it was gonna be,
No.
who was funding it.
So my other question, Bill, is that over the last 6 or 7 or 8 years, you've continued to make different studies, and maybe this got to a point where you thought that it was proven to do it. Is that?
The thinking 100% changed between 2022 and today. So those two shutdowns were real test cases that we collected monitoring. So we didn't have that. So
And
without
I can't,
there
without
was no
verification,
notification.
I can't say, but I was the first one, when I got the letter, said, hey, I got concerns, monitor my well. Because I raised it back in 17, 18, whenever that was. And they kept on saying, the mountain water is gonna take care of it, mountain water is gonna take care of it. But if I can look, I can't really do it, but if I can look out 209, and you're telling me they're gonna have an issue, and they're X amount of feet away from where the tunnel runs, why wasn't I gonna be? I was one of the ones that got the severe drawdown, where my well did not respond. And the other concern is,
So
you
you know,
notice,
in Fort Bend, none of the wells have responded to the same extent as the wells near the Hudson River. So the extent of the drawdown that we saw,
well, my
was about
well,
6 feet.
my well and one other guy's well. If you look on the thing, went down and it did not recover as fast as everybody thought it would.
Right.
My one concern is, you know you're not gonna have this done by the time. You hear it's gonna be done in November, it's gonna be done in February. We should already be being hooked up, not waiting for it to be hooked up. Because you know there's gonna be an issue down there, and I know they're gonna come in, but you're telling me the state can find 34 trailers to hook up all these houses, keep them in water while this is being done.
So
Then-
New York City, and we're building.
Then you just added another 11 residences into this district. Well,
26.
then you gotta get all your information going right to the paper and everywhere else.
What do you have to say, Bill?
There's 35 parcels, 26 residents. That's what it's been
Well,
from day one.
and then I was just told the other day when I talked to the one individual from Labella, that there was 11 more houses introduced.
I'm certainly not aware of that now.
And
36 parcels, I think, or 35 parcels.
I mean, you can follow up on that concern and, you know.
well, the other concern is,
Pierre, do you have any information on it?
Yeah, there's basically a total of 36 parcels within the Port Bend service area. 26 are built out, meaning there's a structure on it, and 10 lots are vacant. So I'm not sure if that 11 number, but there's only 36 parcels in totality within Port Bend, and 10 vacant lots. 10 of those parcels are vacant lots with no structures.
No, that number hasn't changed.
No, that has not changed. No, that is correct. That number has not changed.
And it won't change. The map plan report is only for the 36 parcels.
That is correct.
The meeting. Right.
okay, then the other concern is, you sit there and everything was okay. You go to the paper, they have the new article in, and they're saying that the Port Bend area is gonna pay anywhere from $100 to $120 for the system on that side.
Maybe Chris can.
When it's completed for usage, yes. That's.
Why are we gonna pay more than,
No, it's exact same with the wars.
they're paying 70?
No, 70 is the minimum.
They're
For
saying,
5
it
down.
said right there in the thing, and I wish I would have printed it out. It said 100 to 120.
They're doing the average household, assuming there's 6 people in a house or 4 bedrooms. So it's $70 per quarter minimum. You don't use an ounce. And I think the $70 covers up the first 5,000.
5,000,
Okay, and then after that, it's whatever.
Maybe that's.
$3 a gallon.
Well-
That's the average bill in the Washington Water District. And so they're just saying that on an average, that's what a typical family would pay. if you only a single person and you do your laundry at a laundromat, you're gonna pay the $70.
The answer to your question is, you're not, the rate is still the same rate
The
as
same.
the washing.
Yeah, and it'll always be the same, because you're part of the washing water district, so whatever the rest of the washing pays for, Port Bend is gonna be part of the washing water.
It's the
district.
exact same
Right,
rate.
Not
but that's
separate.
not how it was
So,
worded.
so the state of New York, which loves to make laws, says when you create a district, part of the map plan and report, which is a requirement of the state, you must state what you believe will be what the average homeowner will pay. Now, we also have another thing in the washing water district, or all our water districts, that if you're a senior citizen, I think over 65,
Yes.
and you make less than 30 grand a year or some number, that your bill is only $30, $35. So some people are gonna pay $35 or $40.
Right.
And if you got a family of 10 kids, you're gonna pay $120, $150. So it's based on usage, and everybody,
So it's not a finite number, it's based on usage, but the minimum charge is the same as as other districts.
Well, and I wish more of the area would have came to the meeting, but they didn't. Because I know a bunch of them, and that's how we all got it, was they all read the journal and they all came down. And we sat there in the middle of the road and all talked about this. And I don't know
and I
where,
suggest the map plan report, there's copies available in the town clerk's office, and that's available to the public. You can go in there and read it, or she'll make you a copy, it's only 15, 20 pages. And it's spelled out right in a very, so the whole little formula. is how
I
it-
guarantee you, it's the same exact charge,
Okay,
$70.
thank
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I didn't write the article or whatever, or how, maybe, I can't say it was misinterpreted.
well,
but
again,
The way
it was
Mr.
the
Cotton-
first time.
Yes, the way that Mr. Guy is saying is the average number.
Average
The
house.
number, the average house is not talking about any specific or any, all of them or anything, it's saying the average. But the minimum charge is what is really the most important thing to look at. If it was $100, then you would be right, that it would be $30 more than the other people that were in the district, which is unfair and it wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen. Yeah, thanks for the questions.
Thank you, Rich.
We encourage any kind of questions because they're all good questions.
Anybody else have anything?
And just explain the timeline. So New York State governs all our timelines. You know, we have to have public hearings. They have to be a certain number of days apart. We have to do this secret thing. We had to send out a notice 30 days. We have to wait 30 more days to do an order to send to the county clerk and to the comptroller. Then we can start the bidding process. You gotta send the bids out 3 weeks. First we gotta create the bids, then they gotta send them out and give them at least 3 weeks to submit the bids. Then we gotta review the bids, then we gotta do a contract. Then we can actually hand, a signed contract to a contractor. So reality is that's probably not gonna happen till the end of August. There's only gonna be 3 contracts here, so it's pretty limited. Probably 2 of them can kind of work at the same time. So they hope to have it done Thanksgiving-ish. They're saying worst case scenario February now, any weird thing could happen between now and then. But, the timeline is to try to get it done by the end of October, November. If everything goes into place,
Well, I
it's
just,
possible.
like I said, I think the town really needs to get the state to say, hey, when we shut the tunnel down on the 1st, doesn't say how long that the wells would go dry, but they can sit there and say, hey, we can supply these many trailers because
Well,
it's not gonna be one house that's gonna be affected.
DEP and Bill Richardson can speak to this, has made a commitment that
Yes,
if
I know that.
they'll have the water here, right, Bill?
Yes, so the trailers will be filled.
It's not
Well,
just-
how many can you supply?
So
Because
we currently have plans and build out, for 80 trailers that we're building for the 2 locations that are, under the subject area.
How many, Bill?
8.
8, okay.
Let me ask a question, and if it doesn't make sense, tell me, because trying to listen to every word here. But the way Rich Thorpe is talking here is that you're saying, you're showing them, or telling them that you're gonna have the ample amount of trucks or water supply for them, right?
Correct.
So in the process of, the reason that you're bringing the water is what?
It's the interim supply, so for two reasons. One, if a well is impacted when the tunnel shut down, and between, it's to gap the period, any potential period that could be from the difficulty with your well, your existing well supply, and the time that your service connection is made from new units from the Woolworth City District.
So, I would say that if there's a problem that happens to an individual person's home or business, any of those 35 properties, I'm hearing that,
26 homes.
I'm already hearing that 10 of them are vacant properties, so it's 26. But if any of those homes are compromised, is the DEP gonna make it okay?
We definitely are prepared with an interim water supply plan.
Okay,
And we also have other tools in our toolbox to, look at what's happening in the well. It's great for continued monitoring of your wells, and your wells will be monitored through the duration of the shutdown. So our team will be out collecting data more frequently when we go into a shutdown condition, and they'll be able to start tracking well level declines and, really essentially triage. If someone's well is falling 5 feet a day and someone else's well is falling 1 foot a day, the person that's falling 5 feet a day is going to get action quicker because you make sure that they don't lose any water.
but the question I have is, that's good information, but the question I have is, if something happens to their system, are you gonna make it right?
Yes, so we would provide that interim water supply.
That's a good question, Rich.
Is that not answering it?
No, I think it is. I just wanted to make it clear that that's the case.
Well, like I said, I can't verify the number. You now have 10 houses that are being monitored from the original 4.
Yes, because we had open
I know,
policy, we would monitor all 26.
Because they will,
If all 26 are interested, they are welcome to be.
we've been
monitored.
pushing for it.
We will join them. Now, we do need our private property, and we do need a homeowner signature for each and every well that is interested in joining the monitoring program. But that is, it's an
Yes,
open
Eric,
invitation.
I
To all
gave
20.
Eric some numbers, and we have got some more people to get them,
Is October 17th the day that the aqueduct is going offline?
So we don't have a precise date. I mean, October 1st is our calendar date that we were looking at. And so we haven't nailed down the exact date that we would shut down from that. So anytime after October 1st, there's been discussion, a lot of times we might wait to the 8 a.m. the first Monday after October 1st, so it starts the work week. This is a 24/7, 365 operation, that the contractor and the contractor crew would work. So from that rationale, there was some discussion that, you could start, right on October 1st. I mean, it will have to do more with the look at the total New York City water system and how we are positioned, and if we are prepared and pre-positioned in all of our other reservoir systems, all of our other backup supplies, and all of our plans are ready. And quite frankly, the availability of the interim water supply trailers may play into that decision. So
Bill, could I ask you, how long is it gonna take to empty the pump?
it takes about 3 weeks.
Okay, so it's not the next day.
Oh, no,
It's gonna take
It
a month,
takes-
3 weeks.
Yeah, it takes about 3 weeks to get
Yeah.
it down to a completely, to a condition where we'll need to maintain it to do actual put workers in there, so, people have to, go that 600 feet below ground to do the work, to actually make the connection between the bypass tunnel and the existing tunnel.
Will there be communications from DEP to all of us homeowners, or will it be regular communications
We can do
to all of us?
Yeah, so we would normally, point some kind of communication like that with the town board, but if we'd like a listserv or an email distribution on updates, we could work on that. I mean,
I think it's kind of
my
Like a
day-to-day
much
job.
bigger organization than our town dedicated people, but much smaller organization than the city. I think.
I like the idea of DEP contacting people. It's only 26 properties. But we could be obviously, the town board.
We will keep-
Part of that scenario.
as well as, Jim, who works in that district.
Yeah, our waters, Jimmy Montagna, who was here for the celebration of Mr. Baxter's birthday, he's in charge of the water and sewer department, so he could be, just, part of that, just being aware, but as far as making the decisions, a lot of those decisions are the DEP's positions. We're paying for this entire project. But we're working together. And it's been a long ride. I think it was 2018, Rich, from what you were mentioning before.
Right.
When I became a supervisor in 18, Steve Bradley and I met with Bill and Peter Clark and also Paul Rush, who's the deputy acting commissioner of the deputy commissioner of the DEP, who's a local guy.
Like I said, my biggest thing is when we sat there in that meeting, when we raised the questions, we technically weren't in the proposal. It was just the west side of the round.
Yeah, by the time we got to that public hearing, it was strictly the.
And I know, like I said, there was 5 of us in that meeting that raised the concerns. And I know Mr. Bradley was one of them, rest his soul. Went over there and we talked with a couple of the engineers, with different people. And they said, you guys should be fine because of the mountain board. But to find out that we were in the original build out of the system and then eliminated, I have concerns. It's like, why were we? Why did it save where did it save any money? Because here we are, and it may not be on the town level, but on the state level, we're all gonna pay for this somehow. And it just seems like we could have already had this and we'd be hooking up and we wouldn't have to worry about if our well's gonna go dry, because all we would be doing is clicking on like everybody else.
Well, saving with the
And like
town,
I said,
yes.
I went out and I bought a brand new system because I knew I wasn't getting the district water. So I went out, bought all the brand new systems, spent about $7,000. My neighbors went out and did the same thing, because the water down there sucks. And here we are, 5 years later. Oh, you're gonna get water. Your systems are now pieces of junk. That's just,
Well, I remember when this was going on, and Carlo Drive was another area that was really, really dedicated. They still are dedicated to wanting that water. And right now, the DEP, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but I guess there's some monitoring of those properties.
Turkey Hill.
Or
I said Carlo Drive,
Oh,
but
that's
it's Turkey Hill.
Turkey
Yeah. And Turkey Hill has wanted that, and they continue to want it, but the town board, the DP is paying for the project, so we didn't save any money. I mean, they're saving money, but at the end of the day, I think over the period of time, we don't have the analysis, we don't do the analysis of that. But the DP, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there were 3 wells that are on the monitoring program and are continue to be in the monitoring program in Turkey Hill. There are several wells even further north that are in the USGS monitoring program, and they did not respond in March and October of 2023 shutdown to the extent that the Port Bend wells did extend, and that's, why I made that decision to stay with just the Port Bend extension and not staying
oh,
with
like I
Pastor.
said, I know both times you guys did whatever you guys did, I well flushed. The second time there was one first, which would be.
All right, so, is there anybody on Zoom that wasn't on Zoom before that wants to have this conversation? Nope. And,
Motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Yes.
Close this one? Sorry, am I open? The public hearing, please.
and we have to agree.
Second, I'll second.
That could be a roll call vote, no?
No.
It's not about religion, okay. So it's, Mike, everybody, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. And so we're on number 3. Yep. First resolution. Town Board by resolution approves the state environmental quality review type 1 action, declaration of lead agency and determination of non-significance for the proposed Washington Water District Fort Bend extension.
I make the motion. I'll second it. It's a roll call vote.
Yes.
Bill on the meeting.
Mr. Moschetta?
Aye.
Joe? Aye. Aye. Bill?
Aye.
And it's unanimous, roll call votes. The next resolution is the town board by resolution approves the establishment of a proposed water district in the town of Owarsing, Ulster County, New York, to be known as the Owarsing Water District, Fort Bend Extension.
I'll make the motion.
Mike makes the motion, Joe seconds it, roll call, Mike,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Ken, Bill,
Bill.
and, I vote aye, so that resolution's unanimous. The Washington Town Board by resolution approves the road name change of Clear Stream Court Extension to Yeshiva Lane, location of road off State Route 52.
Make the motion. Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, Mike,
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
John? Aye. Bill?
Aye.
And I vote aye, so that's resolution is carried. Town board, we didn't do a budget modification, we're thinking about it, but we don't have to. And, number 2, approved bills as audited, we have 3 signatures.
Make the motion. Second.
One makes a motion, Joe, second, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion's carried. We have motion for the assessors report, number 3, 4 is the building department. 5 is the highway department, 6 is the tax collector report, 7 is the maintenance report, 8 is the recreation report. 9, the justice report, 9A is the town clerk's report.
And move 3 through 9A. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 10, town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement between the New York State DEP, the New York City DEP, the NYS instead of NYC, not the NYC.
Yeah.
And the town of Owarsing, for the DEL 461, which agreement is subject to further review by the New York City Department of Law.
So move. Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board authorizes supervisor to see, they execute the temporary conditional permit between the town of Owarsing and the county of Ulster for the temporary use of a community room located at Trudy Harbor Resnick Harbor Building from November 1st, 23 to October 31st, 24.
So moved. Second.
Makes a motion, Mike seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. So, just for conversation with the community, the county's doing great, I'm very happy about it. I think everybody on the board is happy about this, that the county is allowing the use of the Trudy Harbor Resnick Building. And, we're utilizing our senior program for the recreation program there on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 2. And it's just a nice partnership with the county, and we appreciate it. So next one is number 12. Town board to approve the supervisor to execute an agreement with the Ulster County Youth Bureau for the town's summer recreation program for 24. The agreement for the youth program will continue to the town's youth program in the amount of $3,500.
So moved. Second.
Now I make the motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the letter of agreement between the town of Owarsing and Institute for Family Health, setting forth the provisions for the medical services for the new employees to the town. Town board authorizes the supervisor to execute all necessary documents. The term of this agreement is for 1 year, commencing July 25th, 24, and ending on July 24th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Bill makes the motion, Joe seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute a change order number 2 for DJ Heating and Air Conditioning, Inc. to draw down of allowance for specification of 012100.3.3A3 for CCD number 16, which added cooling to the electrical room for the town's IT equipment. The amount of the drawdown from the allowance is 14,564. The remaining balance for the allowance is 60,436.
So, second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the payment of invoice 2702-11 in the amount of $17,747.35 to Delaware Engineering, DPC, for the town of Owarsing Highway Garage.
So moved, second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor? Motion's carried. Town board to approve the payment application number 9 in the amount of $211,505.05 to J&J SAS Electrical for the Highway Garage and Rehabilitation Project electrical section.
So moved, second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment application number 10 in the amount of $410,816.10 to Darlin Associates, Inc. for the Highway Garage and Rehabilitation under general construction.
So moved, second.
Bill makes the motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment number, application number 4 in the amount of $90,497.95 to DJ Heating and Air Conditioning, Inc. for the Highway Garage and Rehabilitation Project under mechanical.
So moved.
Second. Mike makes a motion and Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment app number 12 final in the amount of $96,418.50 to Amity Construction Corp. for the Worthing Water District Individual Service Connections, Local Roads, WWD bid number 11.
I'll make the motion.
Joe makes a motion. Who seconded it?
John.
Johnny seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 20, town board to approve the purchase of 2 well-made pre-charged fiberglass tank quick connect captive air tanks in the amount of $2,520.30 from Schmidt's Wholesale Inc. for the Worthing Water District connection located at Lippin Park. Invoices will be paid through the DEL 446.
So moved,
Discussion. Just want everyone to a little clarification. This solves the low water pressure problem at Lippin Park. We will, from the money will be reimbursed later this year. So no bathroom issues at all at Lippin Park.
Second.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yep.
It's been a little bit of a battle going back and forth with first, ripping out the lines and say that they were too, too small, they had to be bigger, whatever. It's took a while, but it's done and it's good.
Second.
All right, now that's number 20, right?
All in favor?
In favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And then that's what I'm trying.
No, should be 21, we're on 21.
Yeah, I got this one here. Let me see if I can, oh, here's the grant. Town board,
You need 21.
town board to approve the hiring of various staff members for the Camp Chuangung Summer Program. This is per the recommendation of the Elmore Worthing Youth Commission Hiring Committee.
So moved.
Second. Bill makes a motion, Johnny seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the following events for the rec program: Worthing Kids Dash, May 19th, Run Like the Wind.
So moved. Second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motions, excuse me?
Should I abstain as a part of the Road Committee or?
Yeah.
No, okay. Just ask.
So, yeah, so the Run Like the Breeze was always done by the nursery school. And this year, under kind of a quick turnaround situation, we didn't really know that was gonna happen, that they weren't gonna run that. So the town recreation department and the town board said that, it would be a good idea to continue that. We're calling it the Worthing Kids Dash. And it's really not costing the town anything except for adding it to the present insurance policy that we have.
Yeah, no, sorry, kudos to her. She was approached 3 weeks ago at most to, to help, and she took the lead, has it figured out, has a plan, a good plan, and you know, it's a great thing because you know it's a great day to have the kids there. The kids runs. I ran it as a kid. I'm sure a lot of people in this room did. It needed to happen, and fortunately, or it's looking great. So thank you.
Yes, John?
Just to correct one thing that the councilman secretary said, no, sorry wasn't approached, she actually offered to do this. This is the person that you guys have put in this position, and she is amazing. She recognized that she wasn't going to do it, rather than the kids not have this, she decided to hustle and go after it. So she is an incredible person. You guys have a fantastic employee there, and I just commend the work she's done. It's, yeah, can't say enough good things about her.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
So 22 is. And so, get on board to authorize the supervisor to execute the grant agreement for the Joseph Y. Resident Airport project, replace runway 4-22 capping and reels design.
So moved. Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We have no more motions, right? So then we'll go into the liaisons. Tony's not here. We did, Bill and I went down to the highway garage the other day, just do a normal heads up, look at, you know, how the project's going with the existing garage and also the new garage. We went through a couple, you know, scenarios that looked at what you had to do with the new building and what we're looking at places that we could cut money there, you know, save money and still have a very good facility without jeopardizing any safety for the, you know, the people that work there and you know, the property itself, the building and everything. So we came up with a few different scenarios. One of them was the last 2 days are open, they're not closed door areas, and over the last 52 or 53 years, it's built up a level of dirt that amounts to about 100 foot, 100 a foot and a half. I mean, what was that?
Foot and a half.
100 feet.
Yeah, so it's about 100, you know, about a foot and a half, so save money, and instead of having the contractors, did it, our highways guys just cleaned out and removed all the, yeah, just pared it down to where it was supposed to be, which in effect, it kind of compromises the framing and posts of the building. That's one of the reasons, that's one of the things we're doing with the building, is replacing the roof, the siding, and the posts. Posts have to be secure for, you know, to be a properly operating building and safe for the people that work there. So there's a number of things that we did, and we're making a due diligence effort with the project, as it's now going to be segueing. The new building is going to be complete, and some of the offices will be the first things that go over there in June, I believe, and then we'll be concentrating on the, you know, the existing garage. It would cost a lot of money to just tear that down in one, but we can use it for cold storage, and it might even be, you know, some kind of workstation over there to some extent. So just want to say that the highway superintendent and Bill and I and the whole town board is looking at these the process of these, you know, this construction project, because it's important and costly and have to do it the right way. So that's basically Tony's comments from, he's not here today, he's not feeling good enough to come to the meeting, and we want to get everybody sick, so we'll start with Mr. Brown.
We're in the process of hiring our recreation staff for the summer camp. For Hobson Pool is ready to go. The elbow pool is gonna be painted next week, if we get 2 dry days in a row. And transfer station, the brush has been ground up this past week. We have a big pile of mulch down there. We're still waiting for the engineer to give us the material that we need to have the village get quotes for repaving the basketball courts and the tennis courts. Fortunately, what the engineers tells us, the cost is gonna be pretty high for that. So to come up with the funding or we curb some of the project to a later date. And so I have.
Next up, the
So a couple of updates regarding our meetings, our public meetings being shared on various platforms. So the 2 meetings ago was our first ever Facebook Live. We're doing Facebook Live again today. Our first Facebook Live within 24 hours, we had reached 200 people. And since it has been posted on our Facebook, 544 people, excuse me, have engaged with that post. So really excited about the outreach that those Facebook Lives are getting. We're going to continue to do those. Again, as a reminder, within several days or within a few days, the meetings are also posted to our YouTube channel, where you can also see planning board meetings and parks and recreation meetings. And then over the next 24 hours, all of the meetings starting from January will be posted or will be airing on our Channel 23 public access channel. They take a while to upload, and so those are in process now. So you should be able to start seeing those later this evening. So going forward, we'll be on Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube, and you'll be able to start seeing those on Channel 23 as well. On the Recreation Department, the Parks and Rec Committee met again this morning. There is some new trail maps are coming with the O&W Rail Trail that has been continuing to be worked on by OSI. There is a commission of towns that the O&W Rail Trail passes through, and Marbletown has a individual who has offered to create the new rail trail maps and a brochure at no cost. The Parks Commission has submitted their information around the trail, how to access it, the different endpoints within the town of Warsing. So we're excited about some new maps with the updated trail should be available in the coming months. And those will be posted at the trailheads where there is information signs like the one for Honkston and here at Allenville as well. And that is it for me.
Okay, Joe?
The Warsing Water District, we did obtain the C of O from the building department. That was one of the last missing pieces to send off to the Board of Health to obtain, the ability to use the Warsing water. It is technically we could use it tomorrow if we wanted to. The only reason we're not is because our team, Jimmy in particular, Montana, we want the SCADA machine, the alarms, everything to be integrated and synced together instead of being controlled and checking on every so often. So we are intentionally waiting until it's 100% communicating with each other, communicating remotely, which is the main focal point. So we're going to continue to work with the companies on that. And I don't have a completion date for that yet. But nothing, there was no setbacks the last week. Training did happen, so it was definitely a step in the right direction, in particular, getting the right paperwork and samples off to the Board of Health. For the Napanock sewer, the bar screen has not arrived yet. It is back ordered. That's the part that's really the first line of defense. So, for the first line of defense for our sewer station. So that still has to be manually monitored, which is a pain, especially on the weekends. but it needs to happen. Especially, the vulnerability of the motors and pumps, if God forbid something does get lodged. So Jimmy and his team are doing a great job, and we're in contact with Coaster, who we order the parts from. We're now reaching out to them twice a week for an update, stressing how important it is. Other than that, it's a great upcoming weekend for local events. We have Wings and Wheels at the Resnick Airport. Recommend everyone to come out, check that out, support. And
Pray for no rain.
yes, don't even say, don't say the word. No one says.
It's gonna hold off.
Yes, and then Sunday, Run Like the Wind, and like we talked about, War 68 Dash. But switching up the trail this year, I was down there earlier today, just checking things out after all the rain, and it's gonna be really just a great showcase of our area, having people run down, that trail. And I'm very excited for Saturday and Sunday, so I urge everyone to come out and support as much as they can, and, yeah, that's all I got.
Mike McKenna.
Okay, well, we made it through what's deemed from New York State, our burn ban for, brush fires. We ask that you just don't take it lightly. We know it's very wet out there right now, and people are gonna wanna burn as the weekends are coming up and the weather's starting to change. Just keep in mind that the conditions for ripeness of burning hasn't happened in our area yet, so we expect some dryness to happen. We're just asking, please be mindful when you do burn brush. Try to keep a hose nearby and don't have a big bonfire outside burning brush, because once the wind catches it, it's gonna be pretty tough to stop. We got away lucky this year, a very small amount of brush fires and nothing too dangerous, thank God, knock on wood. Just want to bring up one more time that we won't have a meeting before then, but on June 1st, Kerhonkson Fire Department is having their 100th anniversary parade in Kerhonkson. It'll be kicking off at 1 o'clock. Be a great day to come out, bring the kids, grandkids. There'll be fire trucks, ambulance services, police departments. There'll be music, there'll be vendors, local business will be open. It'll be a great day to come out, just like another weekend event that we're gonna be having. So come on out and show your support there. As far as the building department, we're starting to kick up in the full gear now. We are up big time from last month. We put out 41 permits, 56 inspections, and 28 COs. So as I say every month, please make sure your paperwork is done correctly before you come in. Try to eliminate any problems you may have with getting held up. I know that's the biggest complaint. People complain they get held up, but it's usually the paperwork's not done correctly. I spoke to Renee, our assessor. First of all, I want to commend her and her office for the grueling task of doing the assessment rolls for the year. It's a big undertaking. A lot of people don't know what goes into it, what's involved with it, but it's a lot of work. And I just want to commend her for her great job on doing that. And that's all I have for this evening.
All right, to speak to Mike's comments about the Kerhonkson's 100th volunteer fire department anniversary parade. The route will start on 209 at the intersection of 209 and Route 4455. The parade will make its way to the traffic light at Stewart's, make a right down 42nd Street across the bridge, and then make a left at the Main Street ending at the fire. And Main Street will be closed. It must be clear of all vehicles from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Route 209 closed from 11:30 to 2. The movement of the non-parade vehicles will be severely limited during these times. 42nd Street, Minnewaska Trail / Burn Road will be closed intermittently from 1 to 2:30. Many roads, side roads, and businesses will be affected during these times. We are asking for your patience and understanding to please plan accordingly. We have strong plans in place regarding detours for vehicles along the route. However, we're asking our residents to be aware and make fire plans if needed. The parade will feature marching bands, fire companies, emergency vehicles, community floats, honor guards, and much more. Once the parade clears all roads, we will be confined to Main Street for all the festivities. We're expecting over 1,000 people to attend, and there will be a live band playing from 2:30 to 5:30 in front of the firehouse. Awards will be given out at 5:30. Hope you plan to join us for this historic day in Kerhonkson. That's from Chris Depew and Steve Steve Stevens is the fire chief down there. And Chris has been a long time fire department person as well. So we're working really close with them, bringing the trailer down there and the steps to the trailer, so they can have their reviewing stand, and the more cooperation and coordination for this, the better, for safety purposes and the fact that they can celebrate their 100th anniversary of existence there. Okay. Linden Pond, if anybody's been to Linden Pond lately, the lake looks a lot better than it looked like a month or two ago. It's clearing up. We have treated it to some extent using, I think it was barley pellets. And we also, one of the 5 aerators was not working properly, so we took care of that. One of the lines would look like it got bit by a turtle or something, because it was just bit right off. So actually, so we made a nice little renovation, or not renovation, but rejuvenation of that, the aeration that Scott Travers from Catskill Ponds out of Woodsboro area. We did this about 15 years ago, and we put those things in, and we had a fountain down there for a number of years, so it's kind of a decorative thing, but we have an actual new fountain that is a pump that's going to be able to disperse or move the water in a fashion that's going to make it, it's going to help the water. I can't tell you from any scientific fact why this happened, but your pond in your house.
Yeah.
A number of places have had this algae situation. We've been in contact with the DEC, and everything's, looks like it's working out. As far as cleaning
Yeah, mine cleared without doing anything.
I think because it was a warm winter supposedly, so
Yeah.
this algae was growing disproportionately.
Well, I'm not a scientist, so I don't want to say so. But we listened to the DEC and listened to the experts, and it appears that it's cleaning up, and for the future, it's some, it's been 15 years since we had that system put in. And the fact that one was not working and we didn't have a pump, that's a good plus to that park, and for anybody that frequents that. I just think we have to go into executive session for 2 minutes afterwards, because we have to discuss something with the. But thank you, everybody, for coming, and actually, one second, Joe. The 100th anniversary for the fire department in Toronto, we're gonna put on all our social media sites. So ask people to look at that, and you'll be right up to snuff. Okay, we have a petition. John wants to come up.
Thank you. We skipped over at the beginning because of the public hearing, but
Yep.
it's up here, we.
Yeah, we have the celebration for Mr. Baxter, so we thought that was.
No, absolutely. I figured until the end then. As most of you know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And at the county on Tuesday evening, we approved the sheriff's office to have a wellness unit. This will be a proactive approach to, and Mike is familiar and Rich is familiar with the CISM team for critical incident stress management. And that's when an incident occurs, this team will go out, but when they're requested, they would go out. We found that the sheriffs, state police, local law enforcement, fire, and EMS, they're not so quick to seek out that help. So we've now created a division there that will actually proactively go out to the different departments when incidents occur. One person's been EMT now for 22 years. When you take the EMT class, when you take a firefighter class, you go to the police academy, those things will never prepare you for some of the things that you'll walk into and what you'll witness. And realizing that volunteers are becoming less and less, and stress has a lot to do with it. So this wellness unit was law enforcement, it's going to be out of the sheriff's department, but it is available to any first responder agency within the county and even those who touch Flushing County. So it was unanimously approved. They've already begun the process of hiring and getting that unit up and running, and hopefully in the next couple of months, it'll be available for the different agencies, so I just wanted to bring that.
How does it spread out, or how do you coordinate with the 20 towns and 3 villages?
Yeah, so it's gonna be through the sheriff's department. I've had a brief conversation with the sheriff, you know, it's gonna be, as the need arises, it's gonna be sort of. I think the vision is that it will be the chiefs, and the captains and those who recognize that somebody may be having a problem. Typically, it's been in the past, the person having the problems has to ask for help.
Right.
This will be that the chiefs say, hey, you know, you may want to check on Mike or whoever, that they witnessed something, you know. You may want to follow up on them, and this way it's more proactive, it goes in there, checks in on them, rather than reaching out to you, this team will reach out to that individual or individuals.
You guys don't know what that entails. Just say, just say we're on an accident site, anybody, police, fire, EMS, whatever it happens to be, and you come across somebody who's deceased, and it may not bother you, it's okay, you see it numerous times in the service. You go home that night, something triggers it, you have a problem, you go into depression, you start creating problems in your personal life, and you become too proud to say something. Now, people that notice it can now act upon it and say, hey, he seems to have trouble, and they'll come down and they'll talk to you. That's what it's all, that's what the main reason for it. That's great. It's a great pro. I've heard about it for like 2 months now. I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah, and you know, people, and it's not the most obvious of signs, it's things that, you know, they're not coming to the firehouse as often, they're not going on as many calls as they used to do. And it's not just the blood and gore that, you know, people think of when they think of a vertical incident. It could just be something that involved a child and they're a parent, and it's the minor things that we may not think of at the time. But this team will be able to go out and address those issues with people and be more proactive rather than reactive. So I just wanted to bring that back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. With anybody else?
You're gonna go to executive session, not to reconvene.
To be convened.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Terry, let me just keep this kind of secret.
Thank you so
That's
much.
all. Sign comment.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Go home, yes, it's there.
That's okay. We have to arrange the bottle of the